What's everybody, Manny from Motomillion here. In this video I'm going to do a walk around of the Motomillion Ducati Streetfighter V4 in its phase 1 form. I'm calling it phase 1 because it's about to go under some major upgrades. In this form, I believe it is at a reasonable and a modest price range that everyone who has a Streetfighter V4 should be able to make their Streetfighter V4 look like this. And I guess in the later phase, we'll call it phase 2, we're going to be doing some major upgrades, which you'll get to see once it's all done. There's a lot of gloss carbon on this bike, and if the sun cooperates, once the sun shines on this bike, it looks so good. There are only two parts of this bike that are not gloss carbon. Number one is the tank pad by Ducati Performance, and the number two piece is the heel guard on these Ducati rear sets that we have on the bike. The reason I decided to go with the matte piece on the rear sets is because there's too much going on here with carbon fiber, and I thought maybe matte will actually set off the rear sets a little more. And yes, look at the sun shining on this bike with all its carbon fiber just glistening. And these pieces here, these are the full 6 winglets in carbon fiber, and the correct carbon fiber. So Ducati uses plain carbon fiber weave on most of the products that they make, such as this heel guard for the rear set, and all the carbon on this bike has been made by Full 6 in plain weave, which looks proper on the Streetfighter V4. And one other piece that we just installed is the Streetfighter triple clamp on the top. You still get to see that V4, and you're able to do the adjustments because of these writings on there. One of the major changes I think on this bike was in the handlebar area. Everything except the physical handlebar has been changed. As you can see, we're running the RCS 17 brake master, 16 clutch master, along with the WRS switch panels. If you're wondering how these work, there's a video on our channel which shows how they function, where they keep every single function for street use. And these mirrors are favorite mirrors, the CRG Aero mirrors. The bar ends are special. They're made just for the Streetfighter V4, because if you've noticed, the Streetfighter V4 comes with weighted bar ends, which is very unusual for Ducatis, but I guess Ducati wanted to keep it a more civilized by getting rid of the handlebar vibrations, which the Panigale V4 doesn't have, but I'm sure because of something they started running the weighted bar ends. So we made weighted bar ends that accept the CRG Aero mirrors. These fold, telescope around to get the right angle. So if you're ever in traffic and you want a lane split legally, you could put them up, go through the traffic, and then put them back down. And up front over here, we decided to ditch the big turn signals that come on it. These are the Rage 360 snap-on turn signals. They look great, and also they function great, just as every other NRC piece that's out there. They're super bright. They're visible to other motorists so that they know that you're signaling left or right. And on this right here, the carbon fiber fuel cap by TWM. Press down, quarter turn, take it out, fill up. Don't forget this at the gas station, and then just twist it back on there. That's how easy it is. And look at to the back of the bike, we have the NRC Fender Eliminator kit. Again, everything that NRC makes, they've put a lot of thought into it. It's super clean, and the license plate is in its tuck position. These LED lights that are on here, they're super bright. Again, I can't stress it enough how much of a safety issue it is. I think when you run a Fender Eliminator kit, you really want other motorists to know that you're signaling left or right. And these are angled towards the sides, and it's really, really visible to other motorists. Coming down to the license plate mount, so there's an LED light on it. This license plate, believe it or not, is still working through the tolls, so can't escape those tolls, which says it is quite visible. Florida here, they're not as picky, but again, they could read that license plate fairly easily. Even the toll readers pick it up, so I haven't had any problems, knock on wood, yet. And the elephant in the room are these gold Marchesini forged magnesium wheels. The red and gold really remind me of the older Ducatis that are out there. Another big thing that we've did, since we're talking about older Ducatis, is the dry clutch conversion kit. This has the Ducati Performance dry clutch conversion that's made by STM, and this cover you see on is brand new piece by Ducabike, has the optional air scoop What that air scoop does, other than looking brilliant, it allows airflow to your dry clutch, which cools it since your oil is not cooling the clutch anymore. And also it pushes away all the clutch dust that comes off of these dry clutches. And down here, the Tomignoni slip-on exhaust system. You're probably wondering, why did I run slip-on exhaust and not a full exhaust? To be honest, you don't buy these things to go crazy fast and, you know, do top speed runs or whatever. Maybe you do, but I don't think that's what they're meant for. They're meant for going around town. It might have been a little bit of a waste to do full exhaust on the bike because the claim power figures are only 2 to 3 horsepower apart. And another reason is how this exhaust system looks. So if you look at the bike, it has all these sharp lines. And this is the only exhaust that I think respects the lines of the bike and really goes well with the design of the bike. And again, it sounds absolutely amazing. And back here we have the TWM rear wheel nut in black. And looking at the wheels up front, what we have are the TWM caliper spacers, which gets rid of the ugly reflectors that are on here. The red matches the Brembo red really well. We're running the Ducati front axle slider on this bike, and we're running the T-drive rotors, which is our favorite rotors for any kind of super bike or super naked bike that we run. Believe it or not, changing to these T-drive rotors makes a difference on the brake bite, and I really like how the brakes feel now. And back here we have radiated oil cooler guards by Evotech Italy. This area was super silver. I actually don't mind the silver on the bike. I think it's a nice design touch, but the radiated oil cooler were really bugging me. And also, you really want to protect your radiator and oil cooler. That should be pretty much one of the first things that you do on these bikes, especially if you're running sticky rubber like these Pirelli Supercorsa V3s. It throws up all the rock and debris from the road. And the Evotech Italy guys don't put out big logos or anything. It looks clean and sleek. One thing that gets to me with these new TFT screens or the LCD screens is once you start cleaning it, the glass is plastic, so you start getting these swirls and everything. And these instrument crusted protectors by Shieldatron really help with not scratching it, obviously, and those micro scratches that end up being swirl marks. And this is the clear model. It is crystal clear, so everything is legible when you're riding day or night. Since I'm up here, I'll mention these Domino MotoGP grips. They're actually being run on the Ducati MotoGP bikes. Exact same model of grips. Some people like to safety wire them. This bike probably will not see any track use, so we just left them as it is. Looking down here, you see the 520 conversion kit that's been done on this bike. This is a Sitta aluminum rear sprocket that has an oxide coating which matches the engine's magnesium color quite well. And these aluminum rear sprockets, believe it or not, last quite a long time. Just ask our good buddy 650 who has about 6,000 miles on his Panigale V4R. I believe 3,000 or more of those miles were put on these Sitta sprockets. It still looks as good as new. Up front, obviously, we're running a lightened front 520 sprocket, and we have the full 6 sprocket cover on there. Again, these are the same pieces between the Panigale V4 and the Streetfighter V4. Back to the sprocket here, we're running the super light titanium cush drives. So the cush drives are polyurethane inside. They have the titanium studs, and we're running the titanium Pro-Tie sprocket nuts with the Ducati rear sprocket carrier and the TWM rear sprocket carrier nut. All in all, this is the phase 1 of the Motomillion Streetfighter V4. I really think it looks so great and simple, especially once you clean up that handlebar area. And if you take a look at the older Streetfighters, other than the winglets, they look so much alike. I think they really did a great design with the new V4. It looks so much like the old one, which I think was a really good looking bike. And this is just a little more modern. I know you guys want to hear the exhaust. Let's start this bike up. It's a true cold start. make too much noise. The final things I want to mention are, since we started the bike and we're looking back up here, is the Öhlins Blackline damper that's on this bike. This only fits the V4 models, not the V4S, since the V4S unfortunately has an electronic damper that you cannot remove. You'll get all kinds of engine codes on your dashboard. And also these special reservoirs. These are made by a company in Italy called Motocorse, and what's so special about them is that they still keep the radial master cylinders, but take a look at this. There is no clear tubing or any kind of tubing that goes between the master cylinder and the reservoir. So it gives it a very sleek and clean look, and also they just look like a piece of art on the bike. So there you have it, guys. Overall, this is the phase 1 of the Motomillion Streetfighter V4. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thank you for watching. Until next time.